Welcome to the Nailed It Wall.
On this week's episode, we have the honor of sitting down with two Moxie Girls and our announcements host for the last 3 years. We're going to pick their brains about a little bit of everything, what it's like to be an 8th grader, what that feeling is like as they get ready to go on to high school. Buckle up and enjoy the ride. Welcome to episode 32 of the Nailed It Wall. I'm Mr. Lane, the STEM guy.
And I'm Mrs. Scofield.
I'm Bailey. And I'm Isabella.
Well, this is a pretty exciting week. The last 2 weeks have been a whirlwind for me and you, more you than me. It was show week.
It was show week.
It was an amazing show that
really
our teacher staff put on there. I was just blown away. Tech crew was amazing as always. It was just
to
like
Bailey.
Yeah, truly.
So we're going to talk a little bit about that, but we are so honored to have Bailey and Isabella join us. We've often referenced them in the podcast talking about our amazing announcements crew. They are the Lewis and Clark of our announcement squad here, but we're going to get more into that in a minute here. But we always start off our week. How did you nail it this week, Mrs. Schofield?
Well, I had a lot going on this week.
I think that might be the understatement of the century.
I really did. So we had, can I share about the stand or did you want to use that one?
No, of course.
Okay. So I had a couple actually pretty big fails this week where I really nailed it. Yeah, I know. The last weekend, and I think we talked about it on the pod about the stands not being the right size for our new TVs. And you and I were so crushed, so dejected. And we were going to order more stands, but I wanted Mr. Galletti to come in and be an extra pair of eyes just to kind of, map that out with you and I didn't want that to be just, us kind of winging it. So we had him come in and yes, his fresh pair of eyes were key because apparently you and I was way off on the measurements and we did not realize how the stands actually function. So the good news is they are the perfect size, right? And the TVs are up and we had those up by the end of that day and it is an amazing sight, right?
That might be the understatement of the century right there.
Yes.
Again, can you have two in the same open in 5 minutes? And the great news is sometimes when you're doing that job, you really need 3 people to kind of eyeball things, and you're like, hold the TV, the holes are on the edge, and you're like, it doesn't extend that far. I even tweeted out at Vizio, being like, hey Vizio, what stand would you recommend for a portable TV stand? And the cool thing was the next day I had Isabella's class in there, my 8th grade group.
Yeah, it was really fun.
We got some Mario Maker in, and we got Mario Kart. How'd you do a Mario Kart?
I did pretty good. It's a little weird with the Nintendo Switch playing it, but I think we did really good overall. It was really fun.
What's your gaming platform of choice?
I think I liked Mario Kart the most. It was really fun. So.
But do you play on Xbox, PlayStation? Why is it weird playing on the Switch? Are you a Wii person?
I used to play the Wii a little bit and some Xbox, so I've never really done a Nintendo Switch, so it was a little bit.
See, such a cool moment that Isabella, really first time hopping on a Switch.
Yeah,
what about the graphics on the TV? I was blown away by the graphics.
Yeah, it's really cool playing on a TV that big. Not a lot of schools have that, which is really amazing.
Yeah, we love those TVs.
Yeah.
We are so happy to put them up on the stands, and then the fact that you got to do it the next day, that was so cool.
And I was so excited. I'm like, all right, we're going to test these things out. We threw the switches up, and 5th grade actually came walking in after 8th grade left the other day.
They were so excited.
They were so depressed. They were like, what do you mean? I'm like, oh, this is the 8th grade's project. Yeah. So awesome. And talk about the Falcon came through for us. He helped us out.
He really did. And he was invested because remember, we got one up. And then at the end of the day, there was something
lunch
going on.
was ending.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then he just was a key in that and had the other one up at the end of the day. And it was just, we're so excited. We're excited because it's immediate. Now we have that on there. And then now we know going forward what we need to get. So that was one of my failed it. So that was pretty big. But then the other really awesome failed it was, which ended up being great for you guys, but how I was so prepared to give you guys the DVSA on Wednesday. Yeah, and I went to open it up and couldn't find it. And so immediately I assume I failed to give it in a timely manner, which I couldn't understand because I was pretty sure I was right there. And come to find out, it doesn't open up until this week. So you guys took it really hard, right? You're pretty sad.
Yeah. So sad.
When you walked in my class, it was just cheers.
They were very
fired up.
So happy,
So it ended up being fine.
Yeah.
We rallied. We did a fun day, and it's been a great week. So it could have been worse. And then for my nailed it, I'm just so happy that I survived the last 2 weeks, but with play, the show week, that was big. And Bailey was key. Bailey was all of the, I don't know if you know this, but she does all of the sound for the play. So all of the musical cues. It's a lot of pressure, right?
Yeah.
A lot of pressure.
Bailey's like, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, if you don't click the right music cue, it's
not good.
Work.
Yeah, it's not good. And Bailey can attest to the fact that last week was a little dicey, right? We were right up till show night. It was we were working, putting the final touches on, if you will. So I feel like it was a big nailed it to have. Bailey got to see my night that I got all of my lines perfect, and I didn't have any mistakes. Second night, not so much, but it doesn't matter because it was both super, super fun.
The sound was great, and I can't imagine how much pressure goes into that, like knowing the lines, switching the songs, volume. So kudos to you, Bailey.
It's a tough job. Yeah, I've never seen someone do so well as Tech did this year. All of the different components, it ended up being flawless that night, both nights. So I was really proud of all of you guys.
Bailey, what was your nailed it this week?
So for math, I had to create this pixel art, and so I made a watermelon, and it was really detailed, and I'm really proud of it.
That's awesome. You're so excited. You even tried printing in color, and Mrs. Scofield's like, send it to me. I'll take care of you. And then didn't you take it one step further where you created like lightsabers as well?
Yeah, I made 3 other pieces. I made a mountain with a sunset, 2 lightsabers, and an ice cream cone.
Wow, you went all in on the pixel art. Yeah, the kids love the pixel art. Did you ask Andrew what he made for his pixel art project?
No, I didn't know he made any.
All right, you'll have to ask him what he came up for his pixel art. Now, what program do you guys use like Google Sheets for this, or what did you guys?
We used Google Sheets. Our teacher gave us a link, so we just copied it.
Nice, very cool, very cool. I love it. I can't wait to see this pixel art.
Yeah,
we love pixel art.
did.
Isabella actually picked a little pixel art snow cone for her sticker on the mic.
We need you to recreate that this week, okay?
Oh my gosh, yes.
No pressure.
Isabella, what was your nailed it this week?
One of my talents is like drawing, so I really like that. In social studies, we are making propaganda posters for the war, and I did one about like saving scraps and saving a life. So it has to do with like Disney and how they're like picking up scraps along the way as they're walking, and then below it is like an airplane falling because there wasn't enough like rubber that was saved.
Awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
I can't wait to
Really
see it.
proud of
I
that.
love your artwork. Like you're all in when you start an art project. You just take it to the next level.
Thank you.
It's very cool. Well, my nailed it. I think it goes, I could give a shout out to my 7th graders. Sometimes when you give kids the choice to kind of come up with things, they don't really meet your expectations as a teacher. And I've been doing the Hummingbird kits, which is like the micro bits and a lot of like lights, circuitry, servos, a lot of code and things. They're just awesome kits, but I've always kind of saved this for my 8th graders. And I was like, all right, I think this group is ready for this as 7th graders. I'm going to roll it out with them. I mean, people use it as young as 4th and 5th grade. So, I mean, you can get to that level. It's just hard when you have so many of those 4th and 5th and 6th grade classes. And I was like, all right, you got to pitch me an idea. What are you going to do with this project? You need to include a servo, lights, and some type of sensor, distance, light sensor, sound sensor. And what the kids were doing was just so crazy. Like, I mean, the science thing, I have kids like creating like light sensors and comments, like the moon going around, like the earth, these different phases. Wow. One kid's really like trying to create this like robot, like that's just like controlled by a servo. It's insane. Wow. So I'm just so proud of these like 7th graders to like, really step up. And every single day we come in, we just go to work. And, sometimes you're like, all right, I'm going to let you do this. And you want to give kids that choice, that freedom, and when they do, like, they just blow your mind. So that was a pretty big highlight for my week, just kind of seeing what those 7th graders are coming up with.
That I could see why. Yeah, you did. Now, how'd you like Hummingbird kits?
Oh, she hasn't
We
done
didn't
them
do
yet.
that. Yeah.
Oh, because it was last quarter.
Yeah.
I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah, she's with me this quarter now.
That's right. I've had you in multiple spots in my mind. I thought you were in my STEM class, like when we talked about it about a half hour ago. So yeah. I'm paying attention.
All right. So, Bailey, tell us a little about you. What are your interests? What do you like to do?
I'm very artistic, so I like to draw or paint or like read.
Very cool. Very cool. Now, and you're in tech. We talked about that. How many years have you been doing tech? Have you always been the tech side, or?
Yeah, I've always been the tech side since 6th grade.
6th grade. Wow. Now you're a busy person. How do you balance your schedule with everything?
I kind of just like make a plan, say I'm gonna do this and this. And then I just kind of do it.
You just kind of do it. And you're also part of Moxie Girls. This is your 2nd year in Moxie Girls?
Yes.
2nd year in Moxie Girls. And then do you play any sports like on top of all this?
No, but last year I used to do cross country.
Oh, wow. Man, Bailey, you do a little of everything there. And you're also a big sister to Andrew in
Natalie.
5th grade. Oh,
Natalie in 2nd grade and Andrew in 5th grade.
In 5th grade, yes. And what is that responsibility like? Just do they like look up to you? Do they listen to you all the time?
They look up to me a lot. Like sometimes I can see like what I do, I'll see them doing it too. So
that's so awesome. Very cool. Now, Isabella, we talked about how much you love art. What are some of your interests?
Kind of opposite of Bailey. I'm on the actor side, so yeah, I love doing like acting with the play. I've been in that since 6th grade, so that's really fun.
What's your part this year?
I am Bolda, so like I'm the rock
nice.
queen. Yeah, it's really fun.
Awesome.
And then I also like doing drawing, like Mr. Lane mentioned, and there's a lot of different things that I do. So yeah, and Moxie Girls too. I almost forgot that.
That's right.
Yeah,
Second year for you,
Girls.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We have such a good group. I can't believe you guys are your last year this time.
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
A mess.
And then on top of that, you guys have also been the face of our announcements.
Yes.
We've talked about you guys are often our rock. You kind of hold everything together. And you've been doing the announcements. When you guys were in 6th grade, we used to do it live with Dr. Tunis.
Yeah.
And here, and last year we did it live as well. And so like we would come in at 4:45 and kind of shoot them from 4:45 to or no, not 4:45.
I was like, I had no idea.
You're giving that look. I look at the clock there. But yeah, so we would come in. The bell would ring like at 8:40. Everyone would get settled in at 8:45, and we would shoot those from like 8:45 to like 8:50, and we would have like it was kind of like super rapid fire, like no mistakes. Everything was live for those 2 years. Now, what do you guys love about doing the announcements?
I mean, I like that we can like get together with everyone that we know kind of and like just like have announcements and like it's a lot more like free, I guess. Like we've like added a lot to the announcements, which makes it really fun.
Yeah, you kind of just get really close with the people on it, so they're kind of like family.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to meet with everyone.
Now, what was your inspiration for like just getting involved with announcements?
I've like done a lot of like speaking stuff. Like I've been in a lot of clubs, so like I kind of like doing a lot of stuff like that, like telling people information and just stuff like that. So
for me, I thought it'd just be a nice change because I wasn't really in many clubs at the time, so I was like, let's join announcements, see what it is.
Yes.
So were you doing it last year? So when it was live here, you did it from the beginning of that, like when she was doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So was it an application? Like how did you guys do that?
So in 6th grade, you put in an application, and then you like go up and then try it, and then they'd call you up to the office and say like, hey, you're in this now, so next year just come to the Mr. Lane's room to start it.
So when you guys started, it wasn't still recording in that little room?
No.
I did it. I think when I was like, I think I started in like 5th grade, some too maybe, but I remember doing it in the little room.
It's so interesting.
Changed so much.
It's changed so much. So how do you feel about doing it not live now? Like how does that feel different?
I mean, it's like kind of better in some ways because like you can record and like Taisho edits it for us, so like like we don't have to like if we make a mistake we can edit it out easily. But like before, whatever we did was just live for the whole school.
Yeah, I like how like if you mess up you can just be like, oh, we'll just do that part again, but on the live you'd be like, oh well, just
you guys get to see a lot of behind the scenes.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, what was like one of your great mistakes on live when we were filming the announcements live?
Well, I remember when I was younger, in that little room, like, there was a TV that we would have in the corner, and it would be, like, someone kind of, like, broadcasting it with the camera, and, like, they'd always say, don't look up at the TV, because then it looks like you're looking up into, like, a random corner, because, like, you want to see, like, what you look like, but I accidentally looked up at the TV, and then when I watched it later, it was, like, it just looks like you're looking up in a corner. It's really weird, but it's kind of funny.
Mine, I used to always like stumble over words when I was new to it. Like, I don't know, it just
Yeah.
Just stubble.
And then now, like 3 years later, you just feel like a natural. Like you just hop up there. You're like, all right, this is what we're gonna do. This is how we're gonna say it, and we're just kind of go live.
Well, and you guys had groups before, right? So there would
we
be people that rotated.
We'd like switch off every month.
Yeah.
But then
So
some people wouldn't come, so we'd have to like substitute.
Yeah, because that's another really big difference this year is there are people that don't come every day, like you have some things and Boone has some things. And Muhammad likes to sleep, there's different things, but for the most part, we're with the same people all the time. And so I do think that that's part of the reason that it allows you to get so close to everybody is kind of you have that continuous time with each other. Yeah.
And I feel like we would come in, like we would like have those, we'd like get our seats all ready, get everything situated there, and there'd be a class in here, so like trying to keep a class quiet, and then there would be like up on the smart board so we can kind of see them. But the one thing I don't miss at all is the soundboard. Remember how many times like the audio cord would be plugged in, and then we would be like doing the whole thing, and then the whole school would be like, my phone would be ringing off the hook. They'd be like, we can't hear you. And we would just like film the whole announcement of us just like pretty much like lip syncing.
No yeah, I remember Miss Rudisell one time the sound wasn't working, so she would say like oh my gosh, Miss Rudisell's the best. She's like awesome.
She did like almost like the NFL like the bad lip and read, bad lip reading.
That is so funny. I love that.
But yeah, that was the one thing. Like anytime the phone would ring during announcements, I would know that like the whole school would have audio. I'm like, I know, I got it. I'm like, we're trying to fix it, and then it was like that one weird yellow cord with like the yellow tape on there.
Yeah, we'd all be like stumbling to fix it.
Yeah, and like we would like test it out in the morning there to try to get things situated, but it was it's like changed so much. And about the size, like how many people do you think we have on the crew now?
How many would you say? It depends on what you call the crew, because we have people.
There's so many people.
For instance, Lucy has been coming, and she's really great with going around with you for Straight for the Mouth of Vipers, and she's been a huge asset. That's just been new. Ellie sometimes comes. So I would say we have about 12 regulars.
Yeah.
And then we have
12 to 16 kids.
Yeah, because some people don't come in all the time, but sometimes they will and just make like a random appearance.
Like Avery will come when she doesn't have the high school math, and it's such a good group. But I feel like everybody is pretty kind and really positive, and well, so it's interesting because when you talk about how much has changed. So it used to be in that little room, and then it was in here, and then you two got handed literally the iPad, and it was like, go ahead and do
like
2 months.
And I was so proud of you because it
so
took a lot.
It was.
So why was it awkward?
Because it was just us two in the conference room, and we'd be like, oh no, we messed up, we have to do it again.
Yeah, we tried to make it like kind of fun, but like when you don't have a lot of people, it's kind of hard. Like it's better to have a big group, so you can make it more fun.
Yeah, and then sometimes we'd forget to film a part, so we'd grab the iPad and go do it in the office as people walk by. And we'd be like, oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's so cool that you guys like kind of kept that going, and I love what you said there about like having lots of people. Now, you guys kind of being the founders of the announcements, I don't think anyone, I mean, you said like you had like this recurring role as a 5th grader. I don't think anyone's like been the face of the announcements for like 3 like consecutive years. Now, do you feel like a lot of the little kids, they recognize you like from the announcements? Like, do they get excited when they see you?
Yeah,
not really me, because like I'll walk by, they'll be like, hi. I know this one girl, when Isabella and I go to do the loudspeaker, they'll be like, hi Isabella and Bailey.
Oh yeah,
and like that's the only one that like I know that recognizes me.
Yeah, there's some people that do.
Yeah.
Now, do you feel like you guys were forgotten in the shuffle, like with this, like all of a sudden we had this influx, like it was just like you two like doing everything, and then all of a sudden there was like all these kids, like we went from 2 to we said probably so 16 many, and talk about like the adults, like we're up to like 20 people probably that's part of this. Now, do you guys feel like that you've been forgotten, or do you feel like like there's
Not
parts
really.
you miss, or do you just didn't like the big?
I don't know. Not really. I mean,
Not
kids
really.
still like look up to us. I think like they're
they'll
like
still say hi. They'll be like, hi.
Like they know everyone kind of on the announcements.
So what do you guys, so what are the things that you enjoy that we get to do as a group? Like what are the things that like that you would want people to know that goes on behind the scenes? Like what are the things that you think you might miss when you guys leave? Which I don't want you to leave, but
I guess kind of like how everyone just, I don't know, like I don't call it I don't want to call it fooling around, but like just like that.
Fooling around's okay.
Okay, yeah.
I think that would be. But I
sometimes.
mean, you know, what's hard is you guys have to get here early.
Yeah.
Every single
Yeah.
day. Everyone has to get here early. And then it's not that you're coming to have downtime. You're immediately okay. And then, you know, and then if I have duty, then it's even more rushed because we're on a time crunch. And so you guys are immediately into it, you know. So I think that it's been funny to watch. I mean, you literally will go with anything.
Yeah.
You guys are the best because I can throw you into anything and you just go with it, you know. And the two of you know that sometimes it's me and just like you or, you know, the two, you know, you just never know who's going to show up and it's always a different mix.
Gotta go with the flow.
Sometimes like nobody shows up and it's just us and we're like, okay, we gotta hit the button and then run to the chairs.
Yeah. So for you guys though, Isabella, you said you were one of the people that said you were looking into it for high school.
Yes, I am. So like I went there on the tour and it's really amazing. So like they have a big room. It's like all green screen specifically for that. So it's basically like a big room with all green screens, and then they have like all these lights, and there's like a behind the scenes like glass, and they have like all controllers and stuff, which is really cool if you like want to do like behind the scenes stuff. But it's like kind of like a filming class where like you do a lot of stuff with like filming yourself and you do announcements and like computers. So it sounds really fun.
I'm so pumped.
That's gonna be one of my classes for sure.
Yeah.
I'm
I love
excited
it.
for
You
that.
too, Bailey? Is that something you're thinking about? Did you go to the tour at Ridge?
Yes, but sadly I didn't go to the announcements room because we had
Oh
to
my
leave
gosh,
early. It
it's so
was
cool,
really
yeah.
dark. But I'm thinking about it, so.
That's so cool. Like I love to hear
it's
that
definitely enough to
you guys are
pursue
so
a dream.
excited about these type of opportunities and now hearing about this room makes my little wall seem kind of sad.
I might just sneak
so
in here and
amazing.
paint your whole room green.
I know,
you
right?
I think that could be great.
Now, what kind of lights do they have in there? Do they have like the big like
they're
hanging
like the
lights?
big lights like you had. They were like, I don't know how to explain them. Like they're big camera
big
lights, kind
bulky
of
ones.
like
Yeah.
So all over the room, it's kind of cool.
Now, you guys got a couple months left in 8th grade. You've both been here since 4th grade.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what do you love about school? And we forgot to even mention you're in STUGO as well.
Oh,
so,
yeah,
like,
that's
sometimes,
right.
a lot of times.
President, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I am the president.
All right. Well, jeez, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. She's like, get it right. She's like, let me tell you about my title here. So, like, that's another big thing, too. And, like, a lot of times you'll be running STUGO things and you'll even pop in or days like you can't make it
Yeah.
because of everything you're doing in STUGO.
Yeah.
Kids days, you guys are just so busy. You're doing so
and
much.
And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't you in the Team Connect too?
Yeah, I'm in
Yeah,
that.
so you're
too,
not a
in
slacker.
NJHS,
She's
She's
yeah.
also an NJHS.
NJHS,
Wow,
yes.
wow, man, jeez.
She's got a lot.
We're doing a little humble brag for you here. I mean, but both of you, like, to try to balance all this. Bailey, I
Yeah,
love how,
I do
like,
a lot.
you're so regimented, like, to create
Yes.
your schedule. Now, what have you loved about your time at Sierra Verde? Like, what are some things that you're going to take away as you head off to high school? And don't tell Mrs. Scofield, a couple months here.
I loved like the school has like a lot of STEM stuff, which makes it like really different from other schools and makes us stand out. Like we have a lot of stuff that other schools wouldn't, and I love like all the kids here. They're like really nice. I think this is like a really good school to be at, and all the clubs we have to offer is really good as well. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss all the teachers because they like
teachers
were
are
really
good,
fun
too.
and like they made their learning very like engaging.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. I couldn't agree more. Now, your mom teaches 2nd grade here. Now, did you came here when she first started teaching 1st grade?
I did, yeah.
All right, so you guys, and what school did you come from?
I came from Copper Creek.
Copper Creek, so like right down the road.
Yes.
And Bailey, where did you go from K through 4?
I actually was in California.
Oh, California.
I moved a lot. Like, I used to be in Arizona, then I moved to Pennsylvania, and then
Wow.
I moved to 2 different schools in California, and then I moved back here.
What part of California?
It was like Orange County.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The OC. Love that show.
That was Bailey's life. It was just like the show, right, Bailey?
Yeah.
Now, whereabouts in Pennsylvania did you live?
It was like this street called Red Hill. I don't really remember. I was really young.
Okay.
But I know that my aunt and uncle live in Westchester.
Okay, all right. Now, do you miss the snow? Do you remember the snow? Those
Yeah,
those
I
cold.
remember on my brother's birthday, we were not expecting snow because it's in October, and my uncle couldn't make it because he didn't have a 4-wheel drive, And so everyone was like, does everybody have their snow bands?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. Well, I love everything that you guys represent, like as our students, as our backbone. But I just got to tell you guys, what a great role model you guys are for all the kids on campus, and being the face of everything that, kind of embodies like what we want our student leaders to represent. And talking about for like 2 months, you guys just took the announcements on your own. You're like setting up iPad. You're got little Bailey's like little lean thing there. You're leaning in there and just embracing like all the change from like the little room to in here, doing it live and doing your own thing. And then now like this big production it has become.
Remember when I used to photobomb you guys all the time when you would be recording?
Yes, I remember that. I can't forget that.
I remember like when kids used to walk by, we'd be like, you want to be in announcements?
Yeah,
well,
we always try and get people in,
Now it's like everybody wants to be in the announcements. And
so they wouldn't want to go in the announcements?
Like, it was just kind of like awkward because it was just like 2 people. It's like, I don't want to be like.
I feel like now we've made announcements like something more common that people like, really want to do. Like, it's good to do that because like some like kids today, like sometimes like they're afraid of like speaking, or like some kids don't like public speaking and stuff like that. But it's good to like make it so kids want to do it.
So on announcements, which of the segments do you guys like the most? There's a lot of different things.
I like the Spill the Tea Tuesday or TikTok Tuesday.
TikTok. I know we've been slacking on the TikTok Tuesday. We got to make sure to be on that this week. What about you, Isabella?
I like the green screen.
You mean our traveling?
Totally.
When we go places?
Yeah. Our traveling is the best,
It is fun, right? Like, it's hard to believe that announcements is going to get like this boost. The stuff that we ordered from Diamondback should be here, I don't know, in a week or 2. Yeah. I got an email saying that finally the stuff is shipped and should be here soon. And I cannot imagine. So what's been the craziest thing that's happened on announcements? What do you think? There's been so many things that happen.
I guess it would just probably be like how we just randomly added sushi in.
Oh, yeah. Or Marco Polo pickles was a big thing, and then sushi.
Tell us who sushi is. The people need to know.
Oh, well, it's our class fish.
Yes, that's true.
Really important.
A member of our announcements crew bought a betta fish without asking their parents. Their parents denied them having this pet, and the announcement crew just adopted sushi.
Sushi is a big part of our class. And
is sushi turning 1 week old tomorrow?
I think sushi. They actually are being very responsible with the fish. The girls that bought it actually took sushi home after the play on Friday. And so sushi got to be actually tended to this weekend because I wasn't sure how sushi was going to eat, but I thought, it'd be fine. So anyhow, sushi's been a big part. It's been it's just so amazing to me watching the two of you have to go through so many changes. And you're both pretty even-keeled kids, right? And, when a lot of times when people are watching announcements, how we watch it in my class, they hide, if they're on. And you're so self-confident with, what we do and how you carry yourselves and you just put yourselves out there. And not a lot of people can do that, with that kind of confidence. So it's something to be really proud of.
And the best thing, you talk about going live, it was a hard things. Like I remember I'd ask questions on live camera like last year a couple times, and then like you guys would all be shook. You're like, I don't know what that means. I asked Haley what a flapjack was on live, and
you asked somebody something about Bitcoin. And I don't remember who it was. That was hilarious.
I remember you asked North what she was gonna do, and then it was Summer, and she was like, "Well, what are you gonna do?"
That was Summer's gotten really good at that.
And like you guys are like always so great. Like I love the one we're talking about the backwards words where you guys just like busted out those backwards words the other day, and so it's so fun. Like where you have that live feel where it's like you get that one take and you got to do it, and now it's like we have this whole production between Ty Show. He does so much behind the scenes, and where you guys always have so much fun. We can throw you in pictures. We're like, all right, get in there now, and we're gonna talk about this. And like you were talking about breakfast for dinner the other day, and there's like I just feel like everything's just like so genuine and natural.
It really is. Well, and everybody is willing to put themselves out there. Nobody kind of shies away. What do you think you guys will take away from announcements, like as people? Like, what's something that you think you've got better at, or that you've learned, or what would you say?
Kind of just like go with the flow. Like when someone asks me a question on like air, I'll just like find a way to answer it.
Go ahead, Isabella.
I would say like it's really good like with our confidence level, like it helps us boost that, because like a lot of people, like I said earlier, like they don't really like engage in this type of thing, so it helps us later on in life, I guess.
And we throw you guys in all the time.
Yeah.
But my favorite is when at the beginning, remember when Taisha would do the editing, and we'd all be just completely insane, and Taisha would zoom in on Bailey's face.
Oh yeah.
It would just be like processing everything, like, oh my gosh, what is happening? And I would love those facial expressions.
Those are some of my favorite moments, though, like because Bailey would always like keep it together, and like there'd be like Muhammad like dancing in the back on an umbrella or something, and Bailey's just like so dialed in.
So funny.
But sometimes I feel like she's a Southwest commercial. She's like, just get me away from here, like get me out of here.
It's hard because like before they taught us to like always smile at the camera, like we were taught that doing live, like when people are speaking. So like
you guys are great at that though. The two of you
keeping the straight face.
Now does that come from like working with Dr. Chunis? Like,
I mean, I guess I don't know. We've kind of picked up on the habits. Like they'd always tell us smile when we're speaking. Like just always smile. Like
I also kind of just like picked it up from just watching it, because I always be like, why are they always smiling? And then
But we also go back and forth, and like you've done a better job of like really pushing the kids to, when you're not paying attention, like give a quick look and come back and smile at the camera. But you guys, I'm like, Bailey and Isabella, they're the example. Like they're so perfect when you think about like all these like cool things. And I'm like they're smiling at the camera the whole time, even with all this like commotion going on. Even if Bailey's like, what is going on here? Like
Muhammad comes in and it's all crazy. Like you guys are so good at just keeping cool all the time, but it's very, very warm. And it is going to be so hard having so many of you guys leave, obviously personally for me, because I'll miss you, but to try and continue on with the announcements crew and find just that right mix, because
it's hard.
Like you said, we're so close.
Build up on it.
And there's a lot of interest, but we are very close, and you have to put people in there that have good chemistry. And so like for us, when we go into next year, like what do you think makes a good person on there?
Well, you kind of need some like craziness, but not too crazy. And then just like someone that's like there to keep it all under control.
I couldn't have said it better. I think that should be the title of the application.
Pretty much. We need different people. It's good to have a mix.
And we do. We have such a mix, because not everybody is wild and crazy, but it is a good mix. So Isabella, you were someone that got to do the TV thing when Fox came out. Right? That was Fox, right?
Yeah, that was Fox 10.
So what was that experience like for you?
I thought that was really fun, interacting with that. Like, not a lot of people get a chance to do that. That was really fun, so. And then I also remember, I think we did something with, like, Doug Ducey. He came out, and I was on that one too. So
were you in that one too? I feel like
I was in the Fox 10 when I was doing the Z Space.
Oh
but
my gosh,
they didn't.
Bailey, that's right.
Yeah,
they didn't come over to me. So.
Oh jeez, no airtime for Bailey.
That's right. I remember that now.
Yeah, no one came over to me. I remember Brady Plessity was helping. It with me.
Announcements really gave us like a lot of privileges, so it's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because that was just you didn't get chosen for that because of the announcements. You got chosen because you did such a good job in Mr. Lane's class with your project, and he was
awesome.
So it just really it was amazing what you did there.
He was blown away by all the wires underneath. Corey loved it, but now I'm upset that Fox 10 they didn't go see the Z Space over there. Come on, there was two of our members there. Bailey would give them the best smile. He'd be a natural. She would be a natural.
Yeah, and you led that at STEAM Night the year before.
I was in 7th grade.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
because I saw it in Moxie Girls, and you're like, you can come in early to work with it.
It was so cool, and you did a great job. Mr. Foote was just talking about that, about asking who had run it, and because he remembered it being such a positive thing. But like, so what do you guys think the difference between Moxie this year and last year? Like, what do you think?
Well, there's definitely a lot more 6th graders.
Yeah, there is, which is cool.
Yeah, there's a lot more younger kids.
They're kind of like more like into it. They're like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun.
Which makes it probably better for the two of you.
Yeah.
I do like it. What's been the best thing that you guys have liked that we've done so far?
Probably the Makey-Makeys, the whack-a-mole.
Whack-a-mole was fun. And the two of you guys, you worked together, right?
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Okay. And you know, we did Makey-Makeys because we were inspired by Isabella, and then you were inspired as well to pull those back out.
Go Isabella, you know, she's our leader there.
Yeah.
Now, were you guys friends before you guys started doing announcements in 6th grade, or was this like something you guys kind of came together?
Yeah, I think
since like 6th grade.
Yeah.
In 5th grade, I kind of started to notice her.
Yeah.
And I was like, who is that?
Who is that? Like, I can't tell if that's a turf war station or...
Because I just never saw her around because we had like different classes in 4th grade. So I was like, who is that? Because 5th grade we started rotating. So I started seeing a lot more people.
We got to know a lot more people when we rotated.
So what are some things, like, as we go forward for the rest of the year, things that you would like to experience here for the rest? You know, you have, how many? I don't even want to count the months, how many you have left, but the months that you have.
Hold it together, Schofield.
I know, I'm going to be such a mess. But, you know, whether it's in Moxie or in STEM or just as a school, like, what are some things that you would like to experience or see happen on our campus while you're still here?
I mean, I kind of want to see, like, people, like, interact more because I see, like, different grades don't really interact.
Yeah.
And, like, it would be cool to see, like, 8th grade go and, like, talk to, like, 2nd graders.
Yeah, I
and
think
just,
more
like, kind
that
of,
would be
like,
cool
interact
too.
with them because, like, 2nd graders look up to 8th graders a lot.
Yeah, the book thing was so
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
How was that experience for you, actually? Like,
I mostly got positive feedback.
what does that mean, mostly?
Well, this one kid, I asked him, I was like, what do you like about my book? And he was like,
Yeah, I know. 2nd graders are like they have to think about it, I guess.
And I gave him some ideas, and he just agreed with it, and then walked away.
What about you, Isabella? You got to do it twice, right?
Yeah, I did. It was really fun. I liked it a lot. I thought it was a really fun experience, like interacting with the younger kids, like seeing what they thought. So.
I do like the idea of overlapping other classes and interacting. It's tough with our schedule and other people's schedules, but I do think it's a priority. So it's good to hear from your perspective of that.
Yeah.
You know, previous years we've done things with some with fourth, some with kinder. But we do forget, like, that is the perk of it being a K-8 is that you guys are those role models, and we have so many stellar people in that grade to really share with the younger grades.
At my old school, my brother told me that like we used to do a thing where like 6th graders would interact with like kindergartners, and like they'd have like a buddy day. And one of my brother's buddies, like he brought him a backpack, and like he really loved that, so he like really like, I don't know, he's really excited about that.
That's good feedback, though. Like, I definitely will.
A lot of younger kids, they really look up to the older kids, so it's nice to do that.
I will definitely see if we can set some of those up by the end of the year, but maybe just going forward for future years to kind of have that be a set up kind of system.
Well, just like speaks volumes to how you guys are such leaders on this campus. Like, not every 8th grader would be like, this is what I want to see more of, and like, this is like a problem to see. It's like, how can we get more grade levels kind of like working together on things?
Yeah, but it is true, because if you were at a middle school, you would be so segregated. It's just your group of ages. But since we're not that way, it would be great to take advantage of that. And you know, the funny thing is, not every 8th grader would say that, but it's funny, every 8th grader benefited from it. So even though if it's out of their comfort zone.
I think a lot of 8th graders liked interacting with the 2nd graders for sure. So.
Yeah, at my old school, we used to have combo classes, so 1st and 2nd would be in one class, and 3rd and 4th would be in one class. So I was really close with this one girl from 4th grade when I was in 3rd grade. So, and we also lived like right down the street. So
that's cool.
On Redmont Street?
Yeah.
No,
I'm only
it
kidding.
was.
I'm only messing with you, Bailey. See, that's what Bailey does. She's our rock. She holds us all accountable there.
I loved her face. Like, no.
Now, as you guys are getting ready to head into high school, is there one teacher that kind of like left this like impact on you that you just, you know, kind of changed who you are as a person, or just that one teacher? What's a story you can share with us? Could be your mom as well.
Okay. I have a teacher. So Miss Langford in 6th grade, I love how like she was really kind to all of our students, and like she really like thought all the positive out of the students, and she like really taught us everything like really well and believed in all of our students, which was really good.
I love that.
Yeah.
She's such a kind person.
She is, yeah. One of my favorite teachers.
Mine, even though the year isn't done yet, Miss Scofield.
Oh, wow. Humble brag.
She always makes learning so like fun and engaging. So it's like, yeah.
We've had a good year. But, you know, the other person I know, who is what I was assuming you were going to do, but, you know, I know Mr. Foote has made such an impact on the both of you, you know, and for me, following, you know, him for 8th grade is the coolest thing because he sets you guys up in a way that you really feel confident and positive towards science.
Yeah, he really prepares us a lot.
And so I love seeing so many girls in the, you know, like following into the STEM and the science. And both of you, weren't both of you CSO? Were you
not
CSO?
in CSO, no.
You never
CSO.
were? Okay, so you've done CSO now 2 years?
Yeah. No, just one.
Oh, this is your first year?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We
I
forgot
don't
to
remember
mention
who-
that.
I know,
Again.
that's the other thing.
Put that on the
So
schedule.
how is that going this year? Because it's a different setup. You know, it's Mrs. Anderson this year, right?
Yeah, we used to have 4, but then Maggie moved away.
I know.
So now we're down to
Yeah.
3. So for our action plan, which is something that we had to do to like help or improve our school. So since the theme this year is conservation, we're gonna go around for K through 5th graders and like teach them about conservation.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, like for K through 3rd graders, we're gonna do a puppet show, and then 4th and 5th is gonna be a game show.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, are you making these puppets out of recycled materials?
Yes.
I knew it. That is
Yeah,
awesome.
we're making it out of like paper bags and water bottles.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so cool.
And what are some of the characters in this puppet show? Do they have names yet? Or are we still working out the
We have Paper Paul,
Paper Paul? I love it.
and then
I'm already a fan.
Yes.
Reusable Rhonda,
I'm picturing
so
like
good
little
names.
shirts that they could wear with
Yeah.
these characters. Like,
And
I would
then-
love for you to sketch these out.
and then
Can we make shirts for you guys?
Yeah, like seriously. You know, now we're in the screen printing. Like, we could make these really cool shirts.
I know.
yeah, and then
Reusable Rhonda.
Yeah, reusable Rhonda.
and then we have Penny, but we don't know what to put in front of her name yet.
Oh, we got to
so-
think of something good for Penny here.
Yeah.
I'm on it. Keep going. Keep talking. I'm thinking.
And so have we worked out the script yet?
We're working on that right now. We should be teaching by like end of February, maybe even earlier.
Now, what have you liked about the Chief Science Officer program?
You get to go to like cabinet meetings, which is where you meet with people from your cabinet. So I'm in the North Valley cabinet, so we kind of just go there and we do like a bunch of like team building exercises, and we talk about our action plan and kind of just like network a lot.
Very cool. Very cool. It's a great program that they do. I think this is our 3rd or 4th year that we've had on our campus. We've had it for a while.
Definitely at least 4, because it was the year before. I mean, they were already doing it before I started. Yeah, it's grown so much. And the coolest thing
Now it's
for you and I.
It's a national program. It
Yeah,
started here in
there's
Arizona.
300 people. In
Well,
the
I love
program.
that there's so many girls
Yeah.
as part of it.
For
Like,
sure.
that is a huge shift, because the first year, I think it was all boys.
Yeah,
and then
3
they
boys.
tried to, which is fine. It's just, I think that that's one thing that, I don't know if you guys noticed, but the shift of how girls see themselves on our campus, I feel like it's assumed that you do STEM and that you're into that stuff, and it's not odd anymore.
Yeah.
You know? So the game thing, you know, you were saying that you liked it. I'm just saying there is going to be an esports, so we're trying to figure
kids
out
are so
a way.
busy, Mrs.
I know. I'm not
Schofield. They're
saying
so
we're not
busy.
putting pressure on them. Saying,
We went through their Monday through Friday schedule. They're
with
here
me.
on a
Yes,
Sunday.
stay with me.
They're here on a Sunday.
Here's my question about that. Not will you join?
We had to go through.
Stay with me.
People and people. We had to go through their agent. We had to go through their booking talent.
Yeah, they are hard to come by. But how do you think we could appeal to girls? Like, how do you think we can continue on our campus to bring girls into things that they may shy away from, not because they're not good at or they're not interested, but just shy away because it's intimidating? Because, you know, I think of Rubik's Cube, and we had one girl that signed up, and I think, you know, as we're about to set this up,
Great
we
question.
want to
I didn't see where you're going with
I
that.
was saying, stay with me. But, you know, what's your best advice for us to bring girls in and make them feel confident and comfortable in those scenarios? Because we'd like to see that shift, like with CSOs, but now it's like a given. But what could we do for that?
Maybe which you probably are. You should keep Moxie Girls keep running instead of like sending out an email about it. You should probably like put it on the announcements and be like, hey, this is a club for girls who like STEM, and like
so maybe use the announcements as part of it. But still, even though, why did you guys join Moxie? Like originally, like what brought you in?
Well, in 7th grade, I got the email and I was like, oh my gosh, this looks so cool. And so I asked Miss Bottom, and she said, yeah, just turn it into Miss Schofield.
Okay.
Which I had no idea who you were at the time, so I was like, okay.
And now you know. Now you know so well. What about you, Isabella?
I mean, like, when I saw, like, all the stuff we were doing, like, I mean, it just depends on your interest. But, like, for me, like, being in a STEM school, like, really helped me, like, get to know STEM. So, like, doing, like, STEM-involved activities made me, like, really excited about the club and just wanted to, like, get to know more about it.
What do you think makes girls feel at ease to be willing to step into that, though?
Well, like, I guess, like, a while ago, like, it was, like, more, like, boys were, like, interested in that and, like, kind of, like, took over the industry, I guess. And, like, girls are, like, kind of, like, a little, like, they don't really know if it's, like, for them or, like, if they should, like, do that because, like, a lot of boys are doing it and, like, they don't want to be the only girl. So that's why a lot of kids are, like, kind of not
So maybe on announcements is if I have girls giving the kind of the information and talk about how it's an appeal for everybody, maybe that would be a good thing. So, like, going into high school.
The power of announcements.
Yeah, that's true. What do you guys think you will branch out into? Is there anything... I know you talked about announcements, but is there anything else that you think you might gravitate towards in like STEM or anything that based on foundational stuff that you've been exposed to here that you have an interest that you might not have?
Well, like some stuff with drones that we did was like really cool. So like maybe something with that and like, cause like there's a lot of stuff you can do with drones. Like they've been inventing so many cool things with that. So that'd be pretty cool to have a job with that maybe.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Go Isabella.
I really like the makey, so I might find something like that in high school to do.
Engineering stuff.
Very cool. And then you talked about the video edit and both of you, like, be like that's going to be a part. Like you're like, I already know. Like this class is something like I'm going to gravitate towards. Now we had so much fun the other day. I mean, we did Mario Maker, which is like we didn't get to the point like where you make your own levels and kind of create these things, but like we were playing like the old school, like they have these different like Mario Maker 2. But then we were doing Mario Kart, and I just loved hearing those conversations that everyone was like having so much fun, like they were laughing. Nick was so upset when someone got like 3 turtle shells in a row and he lost. And so like we want to like start this like esports club for like 5, 6, 7, 8, and like Rocket League is like a big one, Super Smash Bros. So we're trying to figure out that way, like, and you saw how everyone just kind of like sat down, they played video games and like you know games like you talked about. You're an Xbox person. What do you play, Bailey? Do you have a game and platform?
It depends. I used to play Wii, then we switched to PlayStation, and then now we have a Switch.
All right, so now you're on a Switch. So
and then my brother has an Xbox, so we're kind of like
so you're all over the place. So people and Miss Scofield popped in, and you were actually playing for a little bit there, and we had a little Mario Kart battle at the end of the day. Now, what do you think? So once we roll this club out. So you think all these boys are going to want to join. How could we get girls to be like, all right, I want to do this as well? What would your advice to these girls?
Like maybe like Moxie Girls, like you could like kind of branch out to them and like have them try it maybe to like see if they would like that, and then they could join the club themselves. So like have like some girls exposed to it maybe in like clubs.
That's a good idea.
That's a great idea.
That way. Well, and the other thing I was thinking as you were talking about is you both have been in my STEM class, right?
Yeah,
right.
You
okay, that's awkward. Listen, I blend everything in my mind. I knew you had. But remember when we did the Minecraft thing?
Yes.
And there were a lot of people that hadn't done that before. And I think that that's the thing that people get, especially girls, get in their minds, you're either good at something or you're not good at something. And if you haven't tried it, you're unwilling to put yourself out there. But now you had background in Minecraft or no?
I had some background. I've done it before.
But I mean, you did so many cool things and it ended up being awesome. And so I think Minecraft for next year will be key in bringing those girls in, because it's a good segue and kind of gaming and all of that. But for this year, I do like that idea. Maybe,
it's a good idea.
or just maybe a few people that might be willing to give it a try, just to let them kind of pilot it as a girl, you know, and kind of do that. What's one thing that you guys have tried this year that you didn't have experience, but that you actually just put yourself out there and then were surprised about? Now you did the Rubik's Cube, right?
Yeah, that's one of the things. Yeah,
You solved
I've never
it?
done Rubik's Cube before. I've tried, but like never been able to do it.
Yeah.
Did you solve it?
I did solve it.
You're on the nailed it wall.
Yeah.
Literally and
Yes.
figuratively.
Yeah, she was, and your mom was so proud of you.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah.
It was cute.
And there's so many things like that I think
Yeah.
that. Now, what was your mentality when I first told you guys you were going to solve it?
Like I was excited to like be able to solve that, because like not a lot of people can. It takes a while, but it was really like satisfying just solving the cube.
I just
Finally
will never
doing it.
forget when you're like, it's that last twist,
Yeah,
and then
I
it's
know,
like
the last
so
one.
amazing
It
to
is.
feel like it goes in.
I remember you shared that story. She was just like looking at it, like in shock.
Yes.
Yeah, it really
Yeah,
is an
it's
awesome
fun.
feeling.
It
Now,
is.
have you solved it?
No.
Okay, we need to do that, Moxie. We should do that as a
Yeah.
something. I mean, that would be pretty fun.
That would be fun.
So what have you tried something? I mean, well, you've tried a lot of different things. I mean, CSO, how'd you get involved in that? How'd you decide you wanted to do that?
I saw like how many cool things they do, like how last year I used to come and help Mr. Foot during their meetings, and they used to be like planning to do like this volcano at recess, or like this note card trick where you had to get it around your entire body, and it's like just so cool.
So
And I
that
was
just
like,
appealed to you.
yeah.
You just have that. You have that mindset, though. You know, you just gravitate. I loved. What did you do? Your Cell City. Remember at the beginning of the year when
Oh
you
yeah,
did
I
your
did
set?
it on Avengers.
Avengers,
yeah.
and I just remember being so delighted that here's this
that was
girl,
fun.
you know, approaching her science thing, and you did such a good job. And then you did yours all on Avengers. I forget what yours was, but it was really good. You
Hers
didn't do
was
The
on-
Office, right? What'd you
Hers
do?
was on like Arizona.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
I
that's
did one
right.
at Arizona
That's
State,
right. It was
awesome.
clever.
Good friends.
Yeah.
Good friends.
I get most
Trying
of
to
these
think of
interests
that.
from my dad, because like he's like really into technology. He works at First American, which is like a technology place, I guess.
Now for you, that's hilarious. Great commercial.
Yeah.
Now for you, we were just talking right before you guys got here about having mentors for Moxie, and we've had kind of a crazy year, right? It's been
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
busy. But
it
last
has.
year we had 2 or 3, because I know we had your aunt,
My cousin.
right? Cousin, yep, right.
Yeah.
Get it right.
And sorry, and we had Mrs.
Fact checker.
Grabham's sister, and I felt like there was one more, but maybe it was Mrs. Grabham, and so maybe that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm trying to figure out who would be something that you guys would feel strongly like. What kind of mentors or what kinds of fields?
Or what
might you
about like
to
what do we
hear?
ask, like what do you guys take away from those mentors, like when you have that chance to like kind of hear their story?
Well, like it kind of inspires you, like that you could do a job like them one day, and like kind of shows you like what they did in their life and like how you could take after that, do the same thing as they did.
Yeah, it kind of just like shows like how girls can basically do anything
Yeah.
if they put their minds to it, like even get in those types of jobs.
Yeah, your cousin was amazing.
Yeah.
That one was a real highlight. And what was cool about that is I did not set that up. You set that up.
Yeah.
You know, you saw it's an opportunity. I thought that the girls might be interested, set that whole thing up, and that made it even more special. But I could have talked to her for hours. Her job is truly fascinating,
cool.
you know? So is there anything that you guys have specific interest in that you think, you know, oh, I would love to see if, well, Mrs. Bennett in the front office has a friend that works for NASA,
that'd be
and
pretty
she's
cool.
trying to set up a visit for her to come.
Like physical? Wow.
She's coming into town. It was just going to be a little bit dicey about, it's not a Moxie day, so I was trying to figure out how we can still,
You need to make that happen.
you know, so.
Especially with rockets coming up for your 8th graders.
Yeah.
Oh, so do you guys have a theme that you guys are kicking around for your rockets?
Galaxy.
Yeah, I was gonna
Sounds
do that,
pretty
but then I realized she was gonna do it, so I think I'm just gonna do white that blends into teal.
So you're thinking
Yeah.
color, because you can make it anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had some good ones last year, but I know these two are going to continue to raise the bar there.
Yeah, that's ironic choice
Yeah.
of words, because they're going to be. I mean, it's got to be really amazing this year, because you know we don't know how many years we get to do rockets, so this year's
Yeah.
got to be the biggest and best in my
Yeah.
mind. I'm super no pressure, but pressure.
Th- This might be the last year you do rockets.
I know.
Tier.
Well, my thing is I'll do it with Moxie going forward. So
yeah,
for
that's a
sure
good idea.
the girls will always get to do that. But, you know, you'll see. It's hard for you to really fully understand the magnitude of rocket building until you get into it, which is it's going to be here in the blink of an eye.
And then it's another great program they have at Ridge, like rocketry, where they go to like national things, and like you get right into it, and you guys just like love that engineering part. Even we got you're starting physics, which is kind of sad for you because you're losing physics as your standards next year. So this is like your last year doing physics, and
physics is so fun.
And you've been on the fence. You're like, I don't know how I tie rockets into everything that I do now. So it's kind of sad here.
You guys will love it though. It is going to be really fun, and physics is great. There's so many awesome things, and it's so applicable to your day to day. So I think of all the things we study, besides genetics, everyone likes to look at their tongue rolling and taste the paper and all that. But
the ears, the attached earlobes.
They are really fascinated by heredity. But the next best thing is definitely the rockets, I would say.
Now, as we end this, we want to thank you guys so much for coming in on a Sunday. We're like, we got to get Isabella and Bailey on here, but we do have some breaking news on the Nailed It wall. We have the Diamondbacks have given us 500 tickets, and you get to take 3 students on the field. Drum roll. Who are those 3 students?
So, well,
it's a quiet drum roll.
I can only reveal 2.
Okay,
right now,
all right.
So I would like to bring the 2 of you guys onto the field with me, because you guys have been the face of announcements. You have literally stuck with it from the beginning, and we're so proud of what you guys have allowed us to build around you. You guys are kind of like our foundational pieces, and you roll with everything, and I'm just so proud of your growth.
Thank you.
Sincerely.
Thank you.
Yeah. It'll be really, really cool. And so that's gonna be the
such
plan.
a cool way to end 8th grade. Diamondbacks have given Mrs. Scofield, and we've talked over and over that they saw like the benefit in the announcements and getting the Padcaster and getting the Final Cut Pro and the iPad and all these cool things. Like, it's not like a whole lot of kids. Like, I mean, there are like 16 to 20 kids like with adults, but like you think of that impact of like those stories that we kind of put out there, it goes to everybody. And so we're just so excited that you guys are going to be on the field, kind of celebrating that moment,
really fun.
And have like all your family and friends there. And like we talked with you about like what a cool moment that the Diamondbacks are giving 500 tickets to Sierra Verde, and so hopefully we can get 500 fannies in the in the stands for that game.
I feel confident.
Yeah,
I do.
Now, as we end this, I don't like to ask a question. This comes from Jamie Cassip of like, what do you want to do when you grow up? But I want to ask you, what problem do you want to solve in the world?
Maybe just kind of like pollution.
Pollution?
Yeah, because like a lot of people drive their cars and they don't really like carpool, so it's like...
So air pollution?
Yeah.
What about you, Isabella?
Like we talked about earlier, like empowering women to like do more things in like the fields with that. Like I've considered like doing a job with like Google, like maybe that'd be kind of cool, doing stuff with technology and like
don't forget
stuff.
us, okay? Can you just
Yeah, I know. That'd be really cool. So
that's awesome. Well, I mean, truly, the 2 of you can do anything, anything and everything you guys decide you want to do. So, Ridge is you're both doing Ridge, right?
Yes, I am.
Ridge is very lucky to be getting the 2 of you.
And your siblings, you guys have big shoes to fill, and Braden and Natalie and Andrew, they're so lucky to have you guys as those older siblings, and our campus is going to miss you. Mrs. Schofield is going to be a blubbering mess in 2 months.
We still have months.
It's okay.
We still have months.
But, well, thank you very much, you guys. It's you guys really embody like how special the students are on this campus and everything that you give to this campus. I mean, you're here on a Sunday. As we always say, if you can be anything in the world, people, be kind and keep changing the world like Bailey and Isabella. If you love being inspired by 2 of these 8th graders, Bailey and Isabella, follow us on Twitter. You're going to get to see some of their work. You're going to see a picture of Isabella holding up her cube solved. So make sure you follow us. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Every Tuesday, the latest episode of the Nailed It Wall will be downloaded right to your phone. You can find me at Mr. Lane, the STEM guy.
And me at a positive proton.